All right. So back in the day, we thought this was funny.
Yo, Diddy, you gave me the ooshkash goosemash. You gave me the ooshkash muaf, the smooshmash. Diddy.
And I was like, he gave you the what?
Exactly. When this came out, everybody was like, yo, this dude is crazy. He
What?
looked like he's on one. And I remember the comment section was just
This
like,
dude is Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown, yeah. The
Okay.
child actor.
Yes.
He was in all the little Nickelodeon shows.
Mm-hmm.
And when this came out, everybody was like, yo, he's wild and he's on one. They just couldn't believe what he was saying. But then now, with all these allegations coming out,
I believed him.
he don't sound too crazy anymore.
Okay, so the thing about Orlando Brown is you could tell he been through a lot.
Yeah.
And he was saying a lot of stuff. And as crazy as he comes off, it's like, why would he just say this?
Right. So I want to take things back all the way to 95, 96, I guess. That is around the time of where we were first kind of introduced to P Diddy. I think that's when he hit the scene with the song Can't Hold Me Down. If you remember, he did that with Mace.
Yeah.
And I remember as a youngster, and when I seen that video, I was like, wow, this guy, he really has it going on, him and Mace. Like, for anybody who was coming up during that time, they knew that Bad Boy was really on top of the game because the artists had the flash, they had the money, the cars, the women.
And the songs were good.
And the songs were really good.
Yeah, you had 112, you had Total.
It's like the whole thing. Matter of fact, I want to play a clip, just a snippet of one of the songs.
Like it's hot wax.
Got the nice car, the jewelry, glasses. And so coming up, it's like you could not deny Bad Boy.
It was hit after hit after
Hit
hit.
after hit after hit.
Yeah.
And so that was a cool thing about it because whether it was Mace or if it was Lil' Kim or Biggie or the Lox, they always had different Bad Boy members in the music videos. And so whoever you were a fan of, you would always see your favorite artist in the background. And then, of course, P. Diddy was always there doing his little dances and everything.
Yeah, I remember Suge Knight had said something about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And so that was the huge rivalry back in the day, which was East versus
Coast,
West.
West Coast
which
beef.
Ironically, everyone looked at Suge Knight as being like the big bad guy.
Yeah.
The evil record executive on the West Coast that was controlling Death Row.
Yeah.
When in reality, it was Puff Daddy.
I mean, they
both
were bad.
They were both like opposite ends of the spectrum, but Puff was able to hide it very well.
Definitely. And to me, you're right. That makes him more evil.
Yeah, exactly. And so growing up, hearing the music, seeing the images on TV and everything, like, as a hip hop fan, you're really happy and excited to be a part of whatever movement was going on. Because although it kind of got separated with East versus West, if you weren't involved in that, you could enjoy both artists and both sounds. At the height of everything, it was a very exciting time to be a music lover.
Yeah. I just think that this is all like a facade, though.
Yeah.
Of course, as a child, you see the bling bling and the flashy videos and the good music, and really that's all you care about.
Right. Yeah.
But
exactly.
behind the scenes, the artists were suffering.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's that. And we're going to get to that in a minute.
But this is the facade of Hollywood. This is the facade of the music industry. And Hollywood was taken down with that big guy. What's his name?
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. And then now the music industry.
Yeah.
And so it's just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's only so long you can keep the facade up.
Right.
And that's what is happening. And I think with the facade, you think, oh, I want to be like that when I grow up because it's so shiny, so fun, and that's the whole point, to lure you in.
Right, yeah.
I believe
that is the case because a lot of times as children we're so impressionable with ideas that what we see on TV is essentially what we want to do or what we want to be or what we want to be a part of. And of course, a lot of people get wrapped up into that when they want to become rockers, rappers, or pop stars. You know what I'm saying?
Even actors.
Or even actors. You want that lifestyle. And I think that Bad Boy they did, or even just hip hop in general, they do a really good job of showing young, impressionable kids an idea of what their future could look like if they follow in these footsteps. And so, you know, a lot of times that leads to the pitfalls in the industry because you have predators in the industry that prey on this kind of thing, whether it's in the music industry or in Hollywood or acting. That's what we're coming to find out now. But what was your impression of Bad Boy when you were growing up?
I mean, I just thought the music was fun. They were rich, young, black, rich, successful people having fun, making good music. You know, and even when the show Making the Band came out and he had them go get cheesecake, you know.
No, I never watched that show.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about it.
And he was like, you should be able to do anything, because he had them walk to Junior's. It was like across the city in New York, like at 1 o'clock in the morning to get him some cheesecake.
Oh, wow.
You know, and that was just a snippet
Right.
of who he was as a person. But there were even, you know, murmurings back then.
Right.
My dad actually had a story when he was overseas, talking about he was in a club with Puff Daddy. And he was like, I ain't kissing nobody ass.
Right, yeah.
He was like, I don't like him. He made it seem like everybody should treat him. I don't care. And he was just like, he's weird. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's what a lot of people have said behind the scenes.
And I was like, you just jealous.
So
he had all the money and the women.
It's funny that you mentioned that on the Making of the Band show, he was asking people to go out and get him cheesecake or do all this like underly work, because it makes me think about what he had to do when he was getting into the industry. Because we all know that Puff, he worked very hard in order to work his way up into the industry to get into the positions that he was in. But he started out, I guess, running errands for people within the music industry. And it, you know, with all this stuff that's going on, it made me think about like who mentored him.
But also, what else did he have to do?
Well, this is what we're getting into, because what Puff has done and what he's done within the industry is stuff that has been done to him. I feel like all of it has been like learned. You don't become like, I guess, the bad boy of the music industry just from nothing. It has to come from somewhere. And so what I come to find is that he had his mentor, which was Andre Harrell. And so Andre Harrell was another record executive, and what is alleged is that he was groomed, and a lot of the stuff that he ended up doing to artists in the industry was done to him.
Wow.
All right, so we're gonna switch things up a little bit, and we're gonna talk about some of the more interesting things about this whole situation and Puff Daddy. So it is alleged that the way he got funded for Bad Boy, for his record label, was that he threw a party with a bunch of wealthy, influential people, record executives, and he spiked the food with drugs. And maybe it was ecstasy, or maybe it was something, I don't know.
He didn't spike the drinks, he spiked the food.
The food, the drinks, whatever. All that happened was that it turned into a big giant, I can't say it, and it was videotaped. And that videotape was used as blackmail to fund Bad Boy.
Oh.
Now, if that isn't the start to a supervillain arc, I don't know what is.
Wow.
It reminds me of the guy from Berserk, Griffin, who is like willing to do anything that it took to rise to power.
Wow. So
now,
how do you get to the top?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what we're coming to find.
Because you think it's just talent.
Exactly.
But then it's like, now, as an adult, I see so many talented people.
Right.
And I'm like, why isn't this person famous?
Exactly.
Or you see even someone like Maya, who went solo, or not solo, but
independent.
She went independent.
Right.
And something happened with her and Jay-Z. That's a whole nother story.
Right.
Because Jay-Z, apparently, he about to go down too. But anyway, it's like all these super talented people why aren't these the people that are famous?
Right.
Famous. Why aren't these the people that's on the radio? Why do I keep hearing the same people over and over again?
Right.
And even when it comes to some of the actors, like I forgot that guy who did like that talent show, the guy who plays the flute. He's tall black guy. He's really silly. Something Cruz.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. Even he went through abuse.
Yeah.
And when he spoke about it, he was shamed.
Yeah, he was shamed.
And so when I think about that, how many people have been silenced? And this is a big black man. Imagine what has happened to everyone else. And it's like, maybe you have to sell your soul
That's exactly
to get
what it
into
is.
this industry.
Well, people have talked about it a lot where they say, oh, it's the Illuminati and you have to do rituals and all kinds of stuff in order to make it. And so what we come to find that it's not about talent. It is about who your connections are or what you're willing to do in order to make it to the top. And I think that this was the case with Sean Combs, in which he was willing to do a lot. He was willing to do a lot of dirty, gritty stuff in order to get the things that he wants. And a lot of it is far more devious than what the normal person would do, because it takes a lot of planning, and it just takes a certain type of character or amount of character to blackmail a bunch of executives in order to get the things that you want. Allegedly. Now, we say that, and before we probably would have thought that it was stupid, but now that we see all this stuff coming out, we hear a lot of people who have said these rumors throughout the years. It's looking more and more like this is actually what happened, especially when the FBI raided his home and they found mountains of evidence of tapes, because that was something else that we heard, or is alleged, that he was having these freak off parties where celebrities were coming to the parties. They were engaging in acts with people, and it was all videotaped.
Yeah, and who was that who said don't? If Diddy asked you to party, say no?
I don't remember who it was, but I know there were a lot of people, including like 50 Cent, who was like, "Yo, I don't mess with this
They
guy."
said that for a while.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as fans, it's like, who could fathom something like that? Even the other day, we were talking about the situation with Cassie and the hotel video that we seen, and we did a reaction to it, but it was so bad that it was like a violation of YouTube policy or whatever. But I was telling you how I always felt that Cassie lived a charmed life. A lot of times you see these women in the public eye, and they're on these red carpets and wearing the best designers and makeup artists and hair, and it's like they're living the life, and you think, I would like that. Or I want to live the life too. Meanwhile, the whole time, she wants to escape.
Yeah.
She is living a horrible life, and then having to go and smile as if everything is okay.
Yeah.
Needing to escape this entire time.
Right.
And you were saying how, as a man, you don't see these women live a charmed life because you told me, what did this girl have to do to get here?
Right. Yeah. That's my instant thought a lot of times, because I know that from what we've seen, from the behaviors of rich, powerful, influential people within the music or entertainment industry, that things just aren't given out for free. Careers, fame, stardom, all of that's not given out for free. It's all about like, what do they get on the receiving end?
And I think that's the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
Because women, it's like, ooh, the glitz, the glamour, designer clothes. I want to live a soft life. And if I do this, I can live that life. And then men, on the other hand, know other men.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And so with that, I guess being naive, that's how women get themselves into that situation. It's like, oh, well, now I can relax. I can do this. I can do that. And it's like, oh no, baby, ain't none of this for free.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that throughout my life, I've always seen, no matter who it was, you know, I never put any kind of celebrity or anybody on a pedestal because throughout my life, I've always seen idols or I've seen people that I've admired or celebrities or entertainers, that is, and some people in my real life do things that were out of character that I never thought that they would do. I think one of the biggest shockers for a lot of people was Bill Cosby.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Everybody had this idea of who he was and how great of a
Yes.
person he was, and he put a lot of people on. But then when there's allegations of him doing certain things, and you're like 1 person, 2 person, 3 person, 5 person, you're like, it might not. But then when it's like 10, 20, 30, and you're like, whoa, what is going on?
With
But,
Quaaludes.
but I mean, and the thing of it is that people can deny it as much as they want.
Yeah.
But it's kind of understood that this kind of stuff happens all the time within the industry. Even if it's not Bill Cosby, it's somebody else. It could be Russell Simmons, Brett Ratner, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein. The list goes on and on and on. You know what I mean? There's always people behind the scenes that are doing these kind of things. And from what I've seen within the industry is that things can be a big giant honey trap. If it looks good, or if it looks too good to be true, it
gotcha.
probably is. Yeah, exactly. Like,
And I think a lot of women don't think like that.
No,
but
they
as
don't.
a man, the way y'all are raised,
yeah.
y'all have to think more critical.
Well, all right, and this is the other thing too, because it not.
It's just
it can be a
knowing-
gender thing, and it can be knowing, but a lot of people who get taken advantage of are men as well. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So what it also comes down to is comes
Life
down
lessons.
to not even life lessons, because when I see a lot of the stuff that goes on or has gone on, instantly it starts making me think about being a business strategist, you know. And so when I was in college, we took a course on business ethics, and the business ethics course would always talk about how you should conduct yourself in business, whether you're, you know, with your company or outside your company, but just being an overall ethical person. And what I've come to find is that some of the most successful people in the world, especially in business, is from doing things unethically.
Exactly.
And when you look at the way things have turned out in this world, when they say things like crime doesn't pay, it actually does.
And while we're being taught to be ethical people, because even in our households, the
Right.
way we were raised, treat people the way you want to be treated, be kind, don't do this, follow the 10 commandments, do all the things, be a good person, and you will succeed. And then you see, like, okay, it's not working. And even like working in corporate America, because no one tells you. You have to see it for yourself. And that's my thing. I think women learn it way later in life, I believe. Now, there are some women, depending on if you have a hard knock life, you learn a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
and
right.
I believe because of the nature of men, y'all are able to see through things a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
With women, it's not.
Right,
So
exactly.
it's like, oh, I'm pretty. This
right,
guy wants me.
right.
He wants me for me. And I don't have to do anything but
Right.
be pretty.
Right.
That's it. And then you go through life, and then you start learning the hard way.
Yes, and
That's what I was trying to say.
And that's what's happening with a lot of women because we were talking about the what did they call it, the Disney princess effect, something that Kevin Samuels and a lot of other guys in the manosphere always talk about is how women are indoctrinated with the Disney princess fantasy. There's going to be a Prince Charming,
Save me.
or save me, and all of that. And so you see all the glitz and glamour, you see
Yes.
the stuff on TV, you see the girls that are living the lifestyles that you want. But the reality is, some of these women, they're really not talking about what they did in order to
Exactly.
get whatever they have.
Like even influencers.
Yeah,
like,
we still see it even with influencers and
Yeah.
stuff. It's like,
there's like, oh, I'm living this kind of life. I'm going to Dubai. And then you're like, oh, I want to go to Dubai. How are you going to Dubai?
Right.
While I'm stuck at my 9-to-5 job working. And it's like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Meanwhile, the whole time she getting crapped on.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
So getting back to this whole Diddy situation, I think that one of the biggest shockers for our generation and for a lot of people who grew up listening to bad boy music and it's finding out all of this stuff has been going on in front of our face and not knowing. A lot of it, like we said, was speculative, but now we're coming to find out that it is like for real. And I think that the biggest shocker will probably be to come to find that it's not just Diddy. There's a whole bunch of other people that are intertwined into this, and unfortunately, see how things is going to wrap up.
So going back to Orlando Brown was really concerning, and what I'm thinking about now, because as children, you might want to be on TV.
Yeah.
You might want to be a singer, and it's like none of these people are okay.
Oh, yeah.
So even Justin Bieber.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, why are all these child stars going through it? Amanda Bynes,
Right.
Britney Spears, Hayden Panettiere. I seen her talking the other day, and she is self-medicating. It's very scary. Even Aaliyah. I wanted to be Aaliyah so much growing up. And just to know that she was, I mean, in a situation where she wasn't protected.
Yeah, right.
None of these children are protected. And it's like, even the usher.
Yeah, so the funny thing or the interesting thing about that is that we think as individuals or as guardians or parents, brothers and sisters, that you want to protect your loved ones, but what we've come to find with a lot of these child actors is that their parents handed them over to these celebrities. Usher's mom gave Diddy custody of him when he was 15 years old. Guardianship. Yeah. The same thing happened with Aaliyah. Like, Aaliyah's parents dropped her off at R. Kelly's studio, and we're not parents, but if I was, I couldn't imagine leaving my child with a grown person.
Even the parents, with the R. Kelly situation, all of the parents was like, we want our children or our girls back, but you dropped your child off in hopes of fame.
Yeah, exactly.
And thinking back to when I was a child, even as a teenager, there were certain places my mom would never dare to leave me.
Right.
She would never drop me off at a studio full of men. I don't care if you want to be a singer or not. Choosing fame over the soul of your child.
Yeah. So the crazier thing about it is we only hear about, for the most part, the people who become successful. We hear about the Ushers, the Justin Bieber, the Aaliyah, and things. But think about how many parents were so hungry for their child to be famous that dropped their kids off at the studios, or at the celebrity's house or whatever, and that have just gone unreported or not talked about.
You don't even know their names.
Yeah, we don't even know their names. And we're only talking about music.
And you don't think like that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't think like that.
Yeah. But now it all makes sense because it was weird. It was like, why are all these young child stars just so bonkers?
Yeah, exactly. Like, why are they so messed up? And it's really kind of fascinating to see the ones that grow up and then they're like normal.
Yeah.
Because there's so many that aren't normal.
Yeah.
So I did want to play some clips that I had from P Diddy. This is when he was on the Conan O'Brien show.
Okay.
And basically he was talking about one of his parties, because that's what Diddy was known for having, these incredible parties that may or may not have included freak-offs.
I just had a flashback though.
But a flashback to what?
Okay, so in Atlanta, and I didn't even realize what was going on. Okay, so in Atlanta, I remember this one time Puff Daddy, he was coming to Atlanta.
Yeah.
He was like, he's having an all-white party, ladies dressed in all white. And then he said something, ladies, shave your arms if you have hairy arms. And people were offended and things of that nature. And it's like, when we were in the clubs, and this happened quite frequently, and I didn't even put two and two together. There would be Wranglers
Yeah.
wrangling us up.
Yeah, they would do that all the time. I remember when I would go to the club, they would do that.
They would wrangle you?
No, they ain't wrangling guys.
Oh.
The Wranglers.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Wranglers would go and scout out for all the beautiful women in the club.
Right.
And they say, hey, so and so wants to see you in their
Right.
section. Yeah.
Right. And so
Wrangle it. Well, you know what? They may have. Oh shit! Oh man, I dodged a bullet.
right. So I feel like because we end up not going that night.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was a recruitment process.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, like sometimes you'll go to the section or whatever, but then things would get weird and we'll be like, oh no, we're not doing that. But I never thought that that's what that was.
So you kind of made it out alive or made it out safe.
Babe,
so
there are so many stories that I have.
I'm sure. So we're going to play this clip really quick.
Okay.
This is Diddy talking to Conan, and he's telling Conan about how to throw a party.
Okay.
You do. Women, beautiful women. We need alcohols.
Right.
Alcohols.
Right. Not just one alcohol.
Alcohols.
Right. Just different
Plurals.
blend. You need the
Blends.
ladies, you need the booze. Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
Yeah.
You do.
So
The fact that he even said locks on the doors.
Yeah. Well, you know, judging from what you were saying and what was happening in the club, yeah, you're kind of lucky.
No, I'm smart.
You know,
I never left with anyone.
Think about how many homegirls you may have had that
we stayed together.
The opportunity to have spent time hanging out with, partying with B.I.G. or Craig Mack or 112 or whoever.
Craig Mack.
I'm just saying, like, you know, the thing of it is that some girls, or at least the ones that I seen when I was growing up, they didn't care.
Yeah.
As if you were a celebrity, they wanted to be a part of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, putting themselves in compromising situations was like an afterthought.
Yeah.
And you know,
Nah,
we've all been young and dumb. We've all done stupid things.
Stupid.
But yeah, you know, those kind of situations could have, you know, huge ramifications. Yeah. So this is the last clip I'm gonna play, and this was Diddy at the Breakfast Club when he was confronted with Charlemagne about some of the comments that he made while he was drunk or something like that.
Coming off of being in Miami a night of partying, I don't really remember what I was saying. You know what I'm saying?
Would you like a reminder?
Yeah, sure.
Play some.
Hey, yo, listen, yo, I love it all. I love it all, man.
I like when you like this, Daddy.
Yeah, when you put my bag
Daddy,
in,
I like when you scrambling and scraping for shit.
No. That was you.
Scrambling.
What? You said, I like when you do it like that, Daddy. When you scrambling and scraping for shit.
All right.
Yikes.
Yikes, for real.
And everybody's just laughing,
Yeah,
get off,
laughing.
and it's thinking it's not that serious. But any grown man calling another man daddy is
weird.
It's weird.
As weird to me. So I will say this. Right now, everybody is faced with what's going on with his allegations and indictment and everything. And I just read that the record companies or the radio stations are starting to pull his music. They're going into full cancel mode over Diddy. We've seen this happen with Bill Cosby. We've seen this happen with so many other celebrities. Yeah, when they get these charges or whatever, all of a sudden everybody wants to pull the cord. What I find interesting is that they're pulling the cord now, but these people have known for years. If what we were hearing about a lot of these rumors, as far as him blackmailing label executives to fund Bad Boy, from him grooming a bunch of minors or whatever throughout the years, these people have known forever. And now all of a sudden they're acting surprised.
That's what you got to do. That's the name of the game. Of course, you're going to act surprised, so you won't be part of the problem or get taken down. But it's like you play the music because there was no case.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
So it's going to be interesting to see how things turn out. Guys, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to continue to follow this topic and maybe have some more discussions about P Diddy, Bad Boy, and some of the other things that have gone on behind the scenes as this story continues to unfold. And if y'all like us to share more of our stories of as far as like maybe you going to the club and some of the stories that we have
made it out alive and even know.
From growing up listening to this type of music, let us know down below in the comment section. But as always, like, share, and subscribe. And guys, we'll see y'all next time. Take care. Peace.